What's going on, guys? My name is Triforce Addiction. Welcome back to another COD mobile video. So I want to discuss the QXR for a few minutes because, I know this weapon has been taking over multiplayer in pretty much every single aspect, whether it be in public matches or in search and destroy, like ranked or just pretty much ranked in general. So yeah, the QXR has been taking over this game by storm. Everyone's pretty much using it because either it's easy or they pretty much have no choice. And we've been here before. I mean, I usually talk about the meta sometimes. I talked about the PP19 Bison, I talked about the snipers in my channel. This is something that is always going to happen in Call of Duty, no matter what game it is. It could be Cold War, Warzone, and even here on COD Mobile. So out of all the weapons that have been tuned in this update, it's obvious that the QXR is probably the most powerful SMG in this game, and it's only made worse because of its enhanced bolt attachment as well as just the overall range and handling. From what I've seen in Path's video, he did say that the fire rate was buffed significantly, so I have noticed that because I've been killing people a lot quicker, and knowing the fact that the headshot multiplier is much higher than it was before, so you could pretty much four-shot people from a very long range so long as you get a headshot. Yeah, this weapon is definitely gonna take over this game at completely at some point. The only thing is that we're still a few days into this update and not a lot of people have discovered that it's overpowered. Maybe some people don't have access to YouTube, so they don't look at their favorite creators to see what the best weapon is for this season. So this time around, I'm going to be a little bit more optimistic because it's not really much of a hopeless situation, at least at the current moment, because it's still pretty fresh to us. And the reason why I'm going to have a lot of optimism this time around is because, honestly, it could be worse. We also have to take into account that the developers have been actually working pretty hard when it comes to these in-game updates. I mean, they could just take the lazy way out or the easy way out and just wait until the end of the season for them to adjust any weapons that need adjusting. But this time around, they actually decided to make quite a few in-game updates to adjust some weapons that needed to be adjusted, such as the QQ9 or the AS-Val. So the AS-Val got its close range damage reduced, so now it's a lot more balanced than it was before. And really, having the QXR as a top weapon isn't really much of a big issue because, of course, you could just easily just use it against them back, or there's just other SMGs that could counter. I mean, even the AS-Val is good enough to counter that weapon. I know it may be powerful if you're in a face-to-face gunfight and they manage to pull out the gun first, but if you could just manage to catch them by surprise, it's not really going to matter. It's not like snipers where it was just a completely one-sided situation. It's so much better now because, I mean, the snipers were completely one-sided. If you got into a face-to-face gunfight with the sniper, that you were done. There was no chance of you winning the gunfight, period. But now that the snipers have been nerfed and, the SMGs and assault rifles are now the more dominant thing, there's so many different weapons out there that could counter the QXR. Like I said, the AS-Val can do that, the PDW from a long range. The weapon's really only dominant in close ranges. It's not like anyone could just laser people from a mile away. And let's be honest, touch users from ranked, they focus more on movement. I'm pretty sure 80 to 90% of you guys that use the QXR in ranked run it with no stock and the short barrel and all that stuff. That's a heavy blow to your stability overall. Also, you have to take into account that, in ranked, a lot of people use Vulture, a lot of people use, cold-blooded or ghost or whatever. Not a lot of people would even dare focus on, I guess, toughness, unless they were using a sniper. So, like I said, you could pick them off from a pretty long range, especially if you're the one with toughness, and they're the ones that are just flinching like crazy when you shoot them. Look, guys, what I'm trying to say is that I'm not denying that the QXR is not OP. I mean, it definitely is. I'm hoping it actually gets a nerf at some point. Probably within the next season, or, maybe, mid-season with an in-game update. But what I'm saying is that, this whole meta could be worse. I mean, there's so many different weapons that you can use. The QXR is not the only answer to your problems. And like I said, it could be worse. I mean, if they never made changes to the marksmans and to the snipers, Like, you would have so much more to deal with. But this is something that's a lot less serious because it's something that you could actually counter. You know, it's not like the sniper meta where it was kind of like a hopeless situation. You know, like in Search and Destroy, how the snipers took over pretty much the entire game mode, and there was nothing that you can do to stop it unless you use the sniper yourself. You're not in this situation now. You could pretty much use a QQ9, you could use a PDW, you could use a Razorback. I mean, there's so many different options that you can use to counter a QXR in this meta currently. So anyways, that's pretty much going to conclude the video for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe for some more COD mobile content, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.